Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Benchmark, they're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. Miles, you really.
Benchmark Podcast. What's up, bro?
Welcome back to another installment of the Bitch Mob BNT Pod, the podcast where no topic is off limits. And we got something here for everybody. We got the big three here tonight. Unfortunately, the fourth member is out. He's on a injury reserve right now. He'll be back probably next week. We got to see timetable what the doctors are saying. But we have the squad here: Miles, smooth-handed operator, Davenport. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, yo. We got the late night show. Still no Heineken, but we'll save that for the in-person.
And of course, Greg, the hot takes, the beat your mother, Heineken sins mirror. How are you doing tonight?
Heineken. Yo, I'm good, bro. Yeah. We'll get the Heineken. I pay up on my debt, so I'll drink the Heineken. It's a matter of when, not if. So next time we're in person, people will get to see that.
Man, so we got to recap week 2, the NFL, look ahead to week 3. But of course, we got to start off with the thriller in Baltimore. Ravens pull out the win, 36-35. Had the Omar whistle before the game. You had Ray Lewis coming out, do the dance. What was y'all takes from this game? And if I remember correctly, none of us thought they were going to actually win this game. Is this that type of season-defining win for the Baltimore Ravens?
I feel like they should thank Clyde Edwards-Helaire for, gift wrapping that game for them. But at the same time, it was a good game. Like, for them to be neck and neck with the Chiefs, I didn't expect that. I thought they'd lose by at least like 10 points. But, Lamar, for whatever you want to say about him, he's a competitor. He's not the best quarterback out there, but he just does things that help his team win. And, that was the gutsiest call of the season, that 4th and 1 call, which, I knew they were going to go for it once it was 4th and 1 because I'm like, they got 2 running backs in the backfield every play. So why not? Why not give it to your best player and let him run it in? But I think, this is a momentum-changing game for them. Like, they could have gone down 0-2. And, sometimes it's tough for teams to overcome that. And with all the injuries that they've faced already, they needed this win. And Lamar needed this win most of all. Going against Mahomes, he'd never beaten him before. I feel like this will give him that confidence boost, and we'll see him take off after this game.
Greg, is this our era of Peyton and Tom Brady?
It's a way cooler version of that. Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, it's a way cooler version of Peyton versus Tom. Yeah, we can make that comparison for sure. I think Patrick Mahomes is the most gifted quarterback that's ever played football. I don't think I've ever seen anybody like him. And the next closest thing to him is Aaron Rodgers that I've ever seen in terms of being that gifted, that talented. And then Lamar he's probably in the conversation too. He's an amazing player. He's a guy who runs like a running back with the ball. He had a run in that game where he ran in between tackles and was like juking in between guys, making guys miss. He's phenomenal, and it's casual. Like the fact that I can say that happened and people wouldn't know what I'm talking about because he does it all the time. Like you you don't even know the difference. He does it all the time. All of his runs look like that. So it's not that remarkable for people anymore, but it still is. There are wide receivers that don't run the ball with the ball as well as Lamar does. So it's special. That's a big psychological win for him because he never beaten them before. I'm not mad I chose the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs were supposed to win that game. They were supposed to win that game. They made it look easy in the first half. I almost turned the game off early on. Just the way that the Chiefs are doing what the Chiefs does. That's what they did. And I thought they did a good job covering Tyreek Hill. There were some good things I took away from that game. They had a guy named Averett, I think his name is, covering Tyreek Hill. Did a really good job. So we'll see. No one man can cover Tyreek Hill too long, and they're going to meet up again, I'm sure, if the Ravens are fortunate enough to get there. But they're still a really good football team, even with the injuries to their running backs. Latavius Murray's a really good replacement to just fine on the cheap. The guy can still run the ball, and they have a great offensive line. And Lamar's jump pass is incredible. And I don't know why he's flipping into end zones before he signs a contract. I don't know what that's about, but he's negotiating his own contract. That was stupid. I think he actually missed practice this week with a sore hip, too, from the flip. So that wasn't smart. And hopefully he's more careful because his legs are everything here. He still doesn't throw the greatest ball outside the numbers. And I think in the playoffs, that's where it could hurt them. It's just he's so electric with his feet, but he's got to throw a better ball on the outside the numbers. And he just doesn't do it that well. He throws inside the numbers great. Inside the hashes, he's amazing, but it's just outside the numbers, he's not the most accurate with that deep ball. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's listed as questionable, and I need him to play. I'm actually playing Miles this week in fantasy, so I can't have Lamar be out.
I think he's going to play.
McCaffrey got injured in between. That cut me off short already right there. McCaffrey only gave me 6 points, got injured. Hopefully he's good, but come on, bro. Yeah. I'm 2-0 right now in fantasy. I need this to keep going.
McCaffrey's injury sucks. I think he'll play. I don't think it was that serious of an injury, but it was. You could see he landed it right on the hip. I'm like, man, that's a dangerous. Just run into the end zone, bro. You should bubble wrap yourself. He shouldn't even be playing without a contract. He shouldn't even be out here. That's the reality of it. He's one of those guys that's loyal to a fault. He should be loyal to himself. He shouldn't be out there. Lamar should not be playing. He should hire an agent first thing he can, but it's crazy. I love the 4th-and-1 call too. That was great. It's a new era in football. I got the stupid Giants kicking the ball away in opponent's territory on 4th down while other teams are going for it. You don't give the ball back to teams, man. You know what? Let me not even start. You don't get the teams are too good and kickers are too good. They would have lost. They were guaranteed to lose the game if they kick the ball away on 4th-and-1. Then they had to go for it in their own territory. That's guts, man. But that's where football's headed. Guys are too good now. Yeah,
back to what I was saying before we go to the next game. I think that comparison is accurate in this regard. Not talent-wise, because obviously Lamar Jackson is way more elusive than a Peyton Manning was. But I think he'll have very good regular seasons and struggle in playoffs like Peyton did, while Tom Brady, compared to Mahomes will have all of the playoff success, the championships. One, just off the strength that they have a better squad anyhow. So I think it'll be the same type of thing where you see Mahomes constantly winning, always going deep playoff runs. Lamar, great regular seasons, and the team just isn't good enough to get there. So I think that's
so different. Lamar and Peyton are just so different. It's hard for me to make the comparison. Because Peyton was just he was a pure quarterback. He made all the reads, he was literally running the offense back with the Colts and even in Denver, throwing for 50 touchdowns. It's tough but I do agree. I think that the similarity is there, and Lamar has struggled in the playoffs. There's no way around it, and for obvious reasons. It's much different than the reasons why Peyton struggled, but it is a fair comparison for sure. I could definitely see that. Although Mahomes still has to do with Brady, unfortunately.
Titans Seahawks. We mentioned this as another game where we thought, hey, both of these teams, Titans, Ravens, might be going down 0-2. Both actually come out with the win. Titans win 33-30 in OT. King Henry goes bananas. 182 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns on 35 carries. What was y'all takeaways from this Titan win?
Bound to happen. Derrick Henry was bound to go off. It was locked. After the last performance, you knew he was going to get off. And that offensive line was bound to play better too. They was an outlier game for them. So I'm not surprised. The defense gave up a lot of points, but they gave it up to Russell Wilson. So it's understandable. And maybe that defense is never going to be what I thought it could be this year, but it's early. So we're only 2 games in. It's a 17-game season. So it's just hard to say. But I was impressed with Derrick Henry. It's hard not to be. He's a force. He's a force. And then, you look at the Seattle, they have the same issues they've always had. They're just not that deep. They're an injury away. They remind me of the Packers so much. The Packers and Seattle are so similar. They're both injuries, just an injury away to one of their starters, and then everything kind of falls apart because they're just not deep. And Russell Wilson takes up too much of their cap. He just does. It's wild, but an impressive one for the Titans for sure. They needed it desperately. They couldn't go down 0-2.
It's on a mission too to look out for the Titans game. They might have been able to pull out. It might have been, a bigger win. Maybe OT wouldn't have been needed if their wide receivers didn't have so many drops. They had 7 drops. AJ Brown led the team with 4 drops alone.
Which is weird for him. He said his mom told me he wouldn't have caught COVID that day.
But that was another game where the Seahawks choked because they had a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, if you think, when does Russell Wilson blow leads like this? So, I mean, it's going to come to a head at some point where it's not working. Like, they paid Jamal, which is cool, but y'all didn't need a safety.
Nope.
Y'all need to block for Russell Wilson, and this could be the last go round with Russell Wilson. Because him, Rodgers, they could all be on the move next offseason. We'll see.
I know one team in New York that has the access to go get him too. Should have come to that. And
Pete Carroll was so critical. He had some comments after the game about Russell Wilson. Like he could have helped us out in overtime, move the ball a little bit. And I'm just like, yeah, this doesn't seem right. It seems a little toxic over here in Seattle. Like, I feel like
it's run its course.
Ever since that Super Bowl where they made that awful call, things have just been on a downward spiral, and they're going to lose one of the best quarterbacks of their generation, of our generation, because they're just dumb. They're just dumb in Seattle. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, this goes to what we talked about on almost every episode, man. The coaches, of course, you got to have a certain level of pride, a certain level of ego and bravado, I guess, in that business. But that call in the Super Bowl was a Pete Carroll call. That was his ego. Same thing we mentioned, reports came out how Belichick was cheating Tom Brady his last year or so in New England. Hey, I think we saw, with the Last Dance, the coaches need the players and the players need the coaches. Neither can be too high. Neither can be too much on their high horse, at least not in esports. So as Miles just alluded to, the stupid ran coaching and organization where you're about to lose a one-in-a-lifetime talent in Seattle. And Seattle hasn't always been a team that was actually relevant. So if they don't do stuff to fix this immediately, Seattle be right back in the bottom, talking about 4, 5 wins, 6 wins on a year, hoping to see Marshawn Lynch come through the door with some Skittles and have a nice playoff run. That's essentially where it's going with them. You talk about another team where some issues with how it's ran. We got to talk about it. Giants lose 29-3. You said if they didn't win, this was a must-win game. It's the end of the season. Are you still of the belief that the season is over for the Giants now?
I have to believe that. What is it? 5 straight seasons where you start 0-2. I do think the season's over. I'm gonna stick to what I said, and I hope this ends up on freezing cold takes because, I mean, the Giants have the Falcons this weekend, and it's a game they should win by 2 scores. The Falcons don't even have their starting corner. Their best corner's out. They did Terrell. He's out. They don't have one of their wide receivers. He's out too. It's a game the Giants should win, but I can't go on a limb and think they're going to win it. like not with the way they've played last couple of years. And I mean, they lost the game last Thursday. They shouldn't have lost. That is that simple. They lost the game they shouldn't have lost. They were supposed to win that game. They outplayed Washington for most of that game and lost it. So it's tough. I think the Giants are a lot better than what they look like. I think the defense is better than what it looks like. Their coaching has been horrible. I don't know why they're playing their corners so far off. You paid your corners. You gave each corner a bag individually, and they're both very good players. Dory Jackson's been good in coverage, I feel like, but they're not playing nearly enough press man. I don't know why. They're not being aggressive on either side of the ball. Joe Judge is putting the ball away when he's in the opponent's territory. I mean, multiple opportunities, and then you get the interception late in that game by Bradbury. It's a breath of life. You can win the game. You do 2 run plays, a pass play that has no chance, and you lose. And you wasted Daniel Jones' best game ever as a pro. And he's had games where he's thrown 4 touchdowns with no picks. This was his best game as a pro, in my opinion, because the defense he was playing against, primetime game. And then this is damn he did with his legs. Daniel Jones showed what I've always said about him. I think he can be a very good quarterback in the NFL. I really do. There was a time where Matt Ryan was a top 10 quarterback. I saw a list last week where Kirk Cousins was listed as the 7th best quarterback in football. Kirk Cousins. Okay, maybe people are drunk. I get it, but at the end of the day, I do think that guy can be a very good quarterback in this league. I really do. I really, really believe that. And I got text messages from people like, "Yo, I see what you're saying about Daniel Jones. It makes sense now." Yeah, I don't just talk. I don't come on here to talk. Like, I really know what I'm talking about. Like, he really is a good player, but the organization has just been in shambles. I don't know what to say. I mean, Jason Garrett's offense, like, he called his best game he's ever called since coming here, and there are still flaws. They don't take advantage of every part of the field. They don't stretch the field. It's ridiculous. Kadarius Toney's not getting touches, which makes no sense. You wait, then why'd you pick him? Like, what? Just pick Rashawn Slater. Just, you know what? I think, why'd you pick him? I know we traded back. I get it. Just do something else. Don't make that move. We're gonna let this kid sit on the sideline and not get the ball. And he's electric with the ball in his hands. Like, go watch me Kadarius Toney film. When he has the ball in his hands, he makes people miss. He's really good. So I don't know, man. I think the Giants are going to win games this year. My fear that they win games too late, like they have the last couple of years. And honestly, I don't think Joe Judge is safe. I think if they lose this weekend and go 0-3, I think the season's already over. Where I'm at now as a Giants fan, and I think Giants fans should get here. Just, can Daniel Jones establish himself? Just, can he prove that he's the quarterback I think he is, a franchise quarterback? I think he can be one. I really do. So can you prove that? Cool. If he does that, then I think Giants are straight. And I know Sterling Shepard be a Pro Bowler. Two wishes. The offensive line, Andrew Thomas come along. That's it. If those 3 things happen, I feel real good about where they can go in the future. They have that Bears pick. They have their own first-round pick. They have assets to make moves in the future. But I think that's kind of where I sit with it, man. Like, I just, those are my hopes for the season. I think they are going to win games. If they lose this Sunday, then I don't think it's, people are going to get fired. I don't think people understand. I really, Dave Gettleman's gone. He may be gone anyways, even without this loss. Yeah. And Joe Judge could legitimately get fired, because when you fire your GM, the GM that comes in wants to bring in their own people. So Joe Judge could get fired. Like, it's very much within the realm of possibility. And then even if Daniel Jones plays great, he may not be here, because that's not the GM's QB. You just don't know what's going to happen. There's too much uncertainty. I was saying for the longest time the Giants had to win 8 to 10 games, not only because they have the talent to do it, but because of what's at stake. And you're seeing it play out now. Joe Judge is talking about how disciplined he wants his teams to be, and you have a guy jump off sides, and that's how you lose game. Or on a field goal attempt, the guy misses. You were gifted to win twice. The Bradbury pick, you were too conservative. You took a field goal, idiots. And then you get your Dexter Lawrence jumps off sides on a field goal they would have missed anyways, and you would have won, idiots. It's just, you just can't catch a break. Kenny Galladay's young, got Jason Garrett on the sidelines. He's not getting the ball. The only good things about this team right now, Daniel Jones, Sterling Shepard, and Andrew Thomas. Like, right now. The defense, I think, will play better. I do think they're going to win some games. I think they'll win about 7 games this year. I think that's what it'll sit at. Worst case scenario, I do think they'll win 7, but it's maybe too little too late. Giants fans are it's done up out here for us. So no one feels good about this team right now. I don't know anyone who does. I don't have an optimistic outlook for anybody. There's no reason to.
But the Giants, I still feel like the Giants have a wild card in their back pocket with like Saquon coming back from an injury. So if he can take off, which I think this is a good get right game for him against the Falcons, that takes a little pressure off of Daniel Jones, which opens things up for the offense. But he's got to trust his knee right now. And I mean, it looked like he was getting there in that Redskin in the Washington football team game where he had that 40-yard run, and I'm like, okay, looks like he's getting back there, but he's still running too tentatively. So maybe this 10-day layoff before the Falcons game helped him, get back to being who he is.
I hope so. They used Saquon as more of a decoy in this game with the RPOs and the read options for Daniel Jones, and it was working. Daniel Jones is legit. He's like legitimate. He's run from the cops fast. Like he's fast. Like he's fast. Like, I didn't think he was that fast. He's actually fast for real. Like he's faster than I thought he was, and he throws a damn good deep ball. Like you got to utilize those two things. Slayton dropped the ball, hit him right in his hand. Yeah, could Daniel Jones put a little more air onto that ball? Yes, but with the guy barreling down on him, it's about as good a throw you're gonna get. You gotta die for that ball, Slayton. They just do things to lose games. They just do things to lose games. But I think they'll win this weekend. I know we're not in the predictions part. I do think they'll win, but I don't expect much. If they lost, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm dead inside. That's the best way to put it. I'm dead inside.
Transition to cap or facts. Cap or facts. You already know how this goes. Odell gets 100 yards this week. Cap or facts?
Cap.
Yeah, I gotta go Cap too.
I mean, because you don't know. He might not even play that many snaps coming off the injury.
Jarvis isn't there though.
2 weeks.
No Jarvis this week.
And no Jarvis isn't there though.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Baker wasn't doing much with him to begin with, so we still got to see that chemistry build a little bit.
Interesting. He kind of is forced. I mean, he has other options, but you would think he'd throw the ball more often without Jarvis being there. I hope he does.
And it's Houston.
And it's Houston. Man, I don't know. Like, he might get off.
It's not Houston. Who is it?
No, it's the Bears.
It's the Bears, yeah.
Oh, he's not getting. I don't know, bro. I might get crazy. No one can cover Odell. No one can cover him one-on-one, but they're gonna bracket him. Even coming off an ACL, they're gonna double cover. They're gonna take him out. They're gonna try to take him out of the game. You gotta respect greatness when you see it. Damn,
I think he'll get the opportunities though to get to the 100. You got Justin Fields starting this week against a pretty solid Browns defense. They're gonna run the ball, so they're probably gonna get the ball back, getting more opportunities. Justin Fields, we all believe, is a good quarterback. I don't think he gets loose this week though. That's a tough first start. And it's not like your team is good though. You're the glimpse of hope, but the rest of the team is.
Find Allen Robinson early and often if you're Justin Fields, and do a lot of RPO. Get him out there and run. It's a big, strong guy. But I it's so crazy. The Odell trade really didn't work out on both ends, in my opinion. Now I look back at it, Odell really it just worked in New York. It just worked. From a football perspective, like he was his best here. I mean, he was getting the ball. I know he played with a seasoned Hall of Fame quarterback who's gonna be getting honored this weekend. Rightfully so.
Oh,
but
man.
He did. You played with a seasoned Hall of Fame quarterback. It worked in his favor. Eli knew where to give him the ball. You say what you want about Eli. He knew how to give him the ball, and he damn sure knew how to beat Tom Brady. Whenever.
Oh, you fit that
smoke whenever.
You know he had to fit that one in there. All Giants fans.
It's facts. You think about how many fans get to see 2 Super Bowls in their lifetime? Not many. Now it's not many football fans that get to do that. It's a blessing. You think about it.
Unless you're the Patriots.
Unless you're the Patriots and you see a billion of them, that's fine. They was cheating on their way too.
Cap or facts? Kendrick Perkins said Draymond Green and Ben Simmons are basically almost the same player. Ben Simmons is a more athletic version of Draymond. Cap or fact?
Cap.
Say cap.
Cap. Why are you saying cap? I know why I'm saying cap.
I because Draymond just does way more to affect the game. He doesn't shoot as much as you'd want him to, and that's where they're similar. They both don't shoot, but Draymond's just a little smarter between the ears. So I don't know. I don't think you could switch places with them and you'd have the same result. I don't think so.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Yo,
So it's kind of
Draymond's a winner.
Kind of like a slap in the face for Draymond because it's like he's done way too much in his career to be, downgraded to being less than Ben Simmons. So that's what
I agree.
Or on the same level. They are not on the same level. That's two different tiers right there. Two different.
This. Like, Draymond's a winner. Draymond's a winner. The intangibles separate them. It's really Kendrick goes on TV and says lazy stuff all the time. And that's just one of another example Z of him saying something incredibly lazy on TV just because they play. First of all, Draymond plays point forward. The Sixers are trying to have Ben be an actual point guard, pure point. That was part of what was wrong with the situation there. He's not a pure point because he doesn't take free throws. He can't make free throws. He doesn't want to take free throws, and he can't make a three. He doesn't even threaten from the perimeter. He's not an NBA point guard. He can't be. So that's part of the problem. And then also, Draymond is the best screen setter in basketball, which is essentially like getting an assist now, especially playing with the Warriors. Like he just does so much. I tell people all the time, and without Draymond, Steph is not the same player. I will say that till the end of time. If they let Draymond walk, that team is totally different. They're not nearly as scary. They're really not. They're not even the same team. It's totally different. They need Draymond. He's the heart and soul of the Warriors. He's their most important asset. He truly is. Everything works because of him. He's a winner. That's what he does. He does the stuff that you can't see. You don't see it. Steph gets all the fame and Clay gets all the fame for hitting threes, and they're amazing. They're all-time greats. Draymond is an all-time great because of stuff you don't see. And that I'm so I can't sing his praises enough. He's that good, and he do this for a lot of teams. You get him with the Damian Lillard out in Portland. Just watch how different things would be for him and CJ. Having Draymond there, it would be so different. The team would be different. He's gonna challenge guys every day. It's a different mentality. That guy's not gonna come up short because he's not working hard. Ben comes up short because he does not work hard. I've been saying it forever, and I know Noah loved to challenge me on this. He loved to challenge me on how hard Ben would work. Ben doesn't work hard. It's very easy to see that guy's not working hard. He's about all the wrong stuff. He just is. He's all flash, no actual substance. He's so talented, and it feels like he's just wasting it. But hey, he's gonna go somewhere and be productive. But what does that mean? He was the number one overall pick. Y'all was comparing to LeBron coming out, which is always stupid. Stop doing that, by the way. Stop comparing guys to LeBron. Don't do it. It's not smart. Okay, it's not like a Michael Jordan thing where you're gonna get. See, Michael Jordan, there was a carbon copy. There was Kobe. There's never gonna be a carbon copy of LeBron. There just isn't. He's just different. So I don't want to hear that. But nah, man. That was a different rant. That's a whole different rant for a different day. But they're not the same. They're not the same. Draymond's a better player.
Yeah, Draymond's an alpha and Ben's a beta. That's it. Like one's a leader. One somehow they managed to last this long in the league, and it's mainly because Draymond's the heart of the team. But Ben Simmons, we'll see. Whenever he goes, I think the Sixers will still be productive, maybe even more productive because they're not being held back by I don't know, by Ben Simmons, who can't shoot, won't shoot.
And won't learn to shoot. Won't even learn.
It's so frustrating.
Tell me what y'all think about this, though. One, on that first part, the reports are that Draymond Green's days are numbered, though, in Golden State. Do you think there is any chance in any world that Joe Lacob and the rest of the Golden State front office actually lets Draymond leave Golden State?
Yeah, they're stupid like that for sure. They botched the KD situation. It's their fault KD left. The writing was on the wall with the KD stuff. We don't got to go down all the exact scenarios. But even in the championship day parade, after they won, I think in 2017 or 2018, I think it was, and he says, "Oh yeah, well, Steph's been here from the dog days. He deserves to get paid. KD doesn't," or something like that. He said something stupid like that. Bob Myers said that. They ruined that. They're dumb. They are going to mess this up, and it's okay because every good thing comes to an end. And when they let him walk, that team will not be the same. Steph needs Draymond. I'm not saying Steph won't get a bucket. I'm not saying Steph won't be the same player, won't be phenomenal. Yes, he will. But you don't understand how much offense Draymond generates for that basketball team. You have to, but the only way you know this, the only way you realize how important Draymond is if you actually understand basketball and watch basketball very closely. You have to watch the game. You have to watch what's happening off the ball. When Draymond passes the ball, he's always doing something that helps spring someone, get someone open. He's always doing that. Whether it's Clay, whether it's Steph. Steph's allowed to play off ball because of him. Steph's actually not as tired because of him. Draymond plays on ball sometimes. He does so much for that team that they're gonna mess this up. I can see it because Draymond's very outspoken, and I know they're not big fans of that. I mean, Mark Jackson's gone for a similar reason. You're right. He was outspoken. I'm sure he was outspoken about religion, but it's it's different. These guys don't like that out in Golden State. They've already proven that. So I could easily see a world where Draymond's somewhere else, and whoever gets him is going to be lucky. Whoever gets him is going to be very lucky. They're going to get a winner.
How much do y'all put, if any, any of the culpability, the blame, the responsibility on what Ben Simmons has turned into on Philadelphia front office, coaching staff since he's been there? How much do we put that on him, or y'all saying it's all on Ben?
I mean, probably a mixture of both. I feel like the team never really required him to change or evolve his game. So it's they were also satisfied with what he was or is, which is he's a pretty solid point guard. He has good vision and makes the right play, but offensively, he leaves a lot to be desired. He's 6'10". He moves the way he moves. And yet, in the most crucial moment in the playoffs, he was afraid to dunk on Trae Young. So, I'm always confused with, where are we going with this with Ben Simmons? They keep picking him to be an all-star every year just because he's averaging close to a triple-double. And he's on a winning team, but is he really doing that much to affect the game? I mean, defensively, he is really good, but offensively, I don't know. He leaves a lot to be desired, and I hope he moves somewhere where he can grow. I mean, I don't know if it's Philly holding him back or he's holding himself back. So we'll find out in the next few seasons, but
that's the thing with that too, is he willing to grow though? Because after the playoff game, I don't know if y'all remember that press conference, he was asked about his performance and he basically was like, so what else? What was my stat line? I had this many rebounds, this many assists. Trae Young only shot this percentage when I guarded him. Oh, okay. That's the response.
And that's the Sixers' fault because the Sixers were going on this tour. They were on a tour last year, middle of last year, and even the year before that, where they would say, and you know what? Since he's gotten there, they've always been because Ben's weaknesses have always been very clear. He just didn't shoot. He just does not shoot. Doesn't want to shoot. Doesn't shoot free throws well. He has no interest in shooting and no interest in getting better at it. Honestly, he doesn't care. That's part of the problem. But they were on this tour talking about, hey, well, what does Ben do? What does he do? It was this "What does Ben do" tour. The leader of that is Noah. I think the Sixers employ him. Honestly, they literally were out here just going, "What does he do? Oh, he does this. He rebounds. He defends. He dives on the floor for loose balls. Well, if I couldn't shoot, I'd do all the same things. Yo, Tony and I were playing at an open run last weekend, and I didn't feel my shot, so I was running back on 3-on-1s, getting in the mix, diving on the floor for loose balls, and I damn near died of exhaustion. But that's because I wasn't. If I was shooting that thing, I'm not playing defense for what? In all seriousness, like they really did enable him. It was like a child, like a toddler. Like they treated him like a toddler for all the years he was there. So they deserve a lot of blame. It might be, honestly, it could be 60-40 blame. 60's on Ben because Ben still controls Ben. Ben could go get a jump shot if he was chasing greatness and he thought he had a chance to be in Hall of Fame. If he wanted to be a Hall of Famer, he would have been in the lab working on that jump shot. We've seen people take their jump shots. Sean Marion was making jumps at a respectable clip, and his shot was weird. Okay, like there's no excuse for Ben. There's zero excuse. In high school, he was knocking out jump shot at a respectable rate. In college, he still took jump shots. He got to the NBA, he stopped doing it. But he was dating Kendall Jenner. He was doing all this other stuff off the court. Look, man, like that stuff comes back to bite you when you don't work hard. That's the reality of it. The work is the only thing that sets you free in basketball. That's it. It nothing else matters. I don't care. Like no one cares that you're 6'10", light skinned and dribble, play defense. No one cares. Like if you were playing on a team that had championship expectations and you were a big part of that and you failed them multiple times. So it is on him, and he's an idiot for coming out, and he's young. But that's why he says something so stupid like, oh, well, look what I did do. No, man, it's about what you didn't do. Because what you didn't do is they should have beaten the Hawks. In no world should the Hawks have beaten them. None. Zero. But that's not what happened. And also, he wasn't even guarding Trey that well in that series. Trey was running him off screens all day because he's just faster. So I don't even know what he's talking about. Like, he wasn't getting one-on-one ISOs with Trey like that because they knew to run him off screens. But it was just, it's tough. It's 60-40. I play 60 on Ben, 40 on the Sixers because the Sixers made sure to put PR spin on his struggles and made sure to let everybody know, hey, well, this is what he does do. Okay, fine. So I guess what he doesn't do is going to keep on biting you guys in your rear ends until you guys finally get tired of him. And here we are. And now Doc's trying to put spin on it in the media with Stephen A. Oh, yeah, I'd love to have him back. Look, man, let him go. And take what you get because you're not getting anything better. He still can't. He's going to come back this season and still not be able to shoot. That's the problem. Okay? So until you can shoot, you're not getting CJ McCollum back from the Blazers. It's just not happening. You're not getting Anthony Edwards. You're not getting MPJ from Denver. You can ask, but it's not happening. I'm sorry. So good luck, man. It's a tough situation all around. For real.
I mean, super interesting because Daryl Morey is he's not letting that
stubborn.
He's stubborn. He's something back for it. There are 7 teams undefeated left. It's only week 3 now, but going into week 3, we only have 7 undefeated teams. Panthers just won last night, so they're 3-0 now. We got the Rams, Bucks, Raiders, Broncos, Cardinals, 49ers. All are undefeated. Only 2 of these teams actually made the playoffs last season, Rams, Bucks. Which of these teams is the most shocking? And then which of these teams can actually be a playoff team that was not a playoff team last year?
I feel like you'd have to say the most shocking would be the Panthers. I mean, honestly, I didn't think that. I mean, if you looked at the first 3 games, then yeah, they played the Texans and the Jets. So the 2 of those should be guaranteed. But they also beat the Saints, who, even though they have a new quarterback, that's still a team that's been in the playoffs pretty frequently these last 10 years. So I didn't think that Sam coming in there would reap immediate results, but I mean, he showed a good chemistry with DJ Moore. They have McCaffrey as always, but he's a little banged up right now. So they might lose the next game, but honestly, I wasn't expecting it. And I didn't think that their defense was that good. But, Brian Burns, they still have Shaq Thompson, even though they lost Luke Kuechly a couple years ago. This team's showing that they got grit. So I like them.
Yo, people should start listening to me about quarterbacks. Just start taking my word. My word is bond with quarterbacks. That's it. I was telling Jets fans, and I was telling anybody who would listen that Sam Darnold was a good player. I told people he can play. I was telling people from the rip, and with good coaching, he'd be fine. And with the system that worked to his strengths, he'd be a damn good quarterback. And what do we have here? We have a guy who can play. We have a guy who's making plays. We have a guy who's leading a team. And look, the schedule has definitely helped them, but the Panthers have a nice nucleus of players. I mean, They gave him plenty of weapons to work with there. I know he just lost McCaffrey, but they have plenty to work with there with Moore and Anderson. And I mean, they're loaded up. And they got Marshall from LSU. They're a good team, man. And they're a good offensive unit, and they're a great defensive unit. So, yeah, that's a team that can make some noise, get to the playoffs. Their schedule is not too hard. They have Dallas coming up. With Dallas's defense, I think Sam will have his best game yet. There, I think he'll get a ton of yards at the least. There, and I like Sam. I've always liked Sam. I've always liked him. I've never been hard on Sam. I've never said he sucked. I said the Jets sucked, not him. There's a distinction to make there. And to be honest, if you know, with teams and quarterbacks, it really does matter about situation. Ryan Tannehill and down in Miami with Adam Gase. Adam Gase was with the Jets. Everyone who leaves Adam Gase goes and does great. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence at all. Okay, there's a common denominator there, and it's Adam Gase. So, you know, if the Jets played their cards right with Sam Darnold, things could have been different, but you can shoulda, coulda, woulda all day. They have Zach Wilson. He's promising to move forward. I also think the Broncos are another team that off to a 2-0 start. They're gonna make some noise too. They're a solid team. They have a great defense. Teddy Bridgewater runs the offense to a T. It just fits. Him and Pat Shimmer are doing great things there, and they got a bunch of offensive weapons. They got, you know, Sutton, and they got KJ Hamler, and, you know, Judy will get back eventually. They're a talented group. Patrick, they've had Tim Patrick for a long time. They're a solid little group, so I like them. I like them too. Those two teams can make a lot of noise. The Raiders have no run game, so I'm still skeptical about them, even though they're 2-0. I just don't. They don't run. The Cardinals don't run the ball, so I'm still skeptical. Say what you want, Kyle Murray's special, but you got to run the ball to wear some runs and clock out.
On the flip side, we have obviously some teams that have yet to win a game. We got the Giants, the Jets, of course. Then we got the Vikings, Lions, Falcons, Jags, and Colts. Out of these 7 teams, which teams need to hit that panic button?
Maybe
Every team but the Giants. Oh, well, the Giants. The Giants are going to win some games. I really believe that. I hit the panic button already. This is me. I've already hit the panic button. Everything, but the Giants, I don't necessarily think are dead. They're dead. They're dead to me. They're dead to the world if they lose on Sunday. They're just dead. Like, this is over. If they lose on Sunday, they're finished. But the Giants and the Vikings, I think, are 2 teams that could make a little bit of a run and make things interesting. The NFC East is not going to be good again. The Vikings have a shot just to try to get that wild card spot. Every other team in there is just bad. It's just really bad. They panic. That's my thoughts. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, if you start the season off 0-2, it's tough. I mean, I'm not panicking as a Jets fan because we're not really playing for much this year. We're trying. This is a development year, like rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie defensive coordinator, rookie QB. Like, it's a lot of things stacked against us. So might have to double down on my 6.5 wins over under. But I think the Colts should be panicking because they made the playoffs last year and they traded for a quarterback who they thought, you know, we bring him back with Frank Reich and he turns into MVP Carson Wentz. But I don't know. Those days might long be gone, and they're going to end up losing a first-round pick for it. Unless, you know, they start having to miss some games, then it'll only be a second-round pick. But still, I don't think it's going to end up right. That team doesn't have the quarterback of the future on the roster at all. And, I mean, the Giants, I don't know what their upcoming schedule looks like, but, yeah, I would hit the panic button a little bit because it's like if Daniel Jones wins some games and he plays okay, then, you know, he has a little more rope. But, I mean, if he's playing okay and they go like 3-14 or 5-12, there's not much to be said to endorse him to come back. Besides, you know, maybe the quarterback class next year is a little weaker than this year. That would be the only reason. But
what do you think about how he played last week?
I thought he played really good. But you got to understand that. I mean, if the team,
I agree.
Yeah, if the team as a whole isn't ready to win yet, then it just sets a bad precedent to pay top dollar to a quarterback when, everything else on the team isn't really set in stone. Like you're paying the cornerbacks a lot of money. You're paying your tackle a lot of money. You're paying Kenny Galladay a lot of money, and he's yelling at coaches already. And it's only the second game of his contract.
I think that's fair. Jason Garrett sucked.
Yeah.
You know what? I think out of everybody, I told you guys if they lose a bunch of games, a lot of people are gonna get fired, a lot of people are gonna lose their jobs, and Daniel Jones could potentially be on the trading block. Yeah, I agree. I think he's the least likely person to suffer in any kind of fire till the Giants go through. I really do. I really do. I think that they'll pick up the 5th-year option. They won't have to pay him. They'll put off the decision for another year, let him rock out again. He's played damn good football. The only quarterback with a higher passer rating than him is Tom Brady. That's it. The kid's playing good ball. He had the one turnover. He hasn't turned the ball. He's done a good job. I really like what he's done so far this year. I mean, he's in a pretty dysfunctional situation with Garrett, and it's hard. It's hard. He's got talent, so I hope that he can play above that and play really well and close out the year. But I don't know. You're not wrong. A lot of people could get fired, but I think that he's going to have a chance to make me look real good here. I tell you, just trust me on quarterbacks. I think he's going to finish the year real strong and have a damn good year. I think he's throwing at least, look, they're going to get it going. I think he's going to throw 22 to 25 tuds. I think he's probably going to give you 6 or 7 interceptions. He hasn't thrown an interception since like week 6 of last year. He doesn't throw picks like that. Now he's thrown a couple near ones in these 2 games, but he hasn't actually officially thrown one. He's taking care of the ball. We'll see, man. We'll see. Let's start talking about the Giants. But the Giants
I feel like he'll go to the Saints and end up being like an all-pro quarterback.
That's the BS though. He's that kind of talent. He can go somewhere else and be great. And that's what I'm saying. I think the Giants have to find a way to tap in and get the best out of him. And that's asking a lot out of Jason Garrett, but it needs to happen this year. Like at the least that needs to happen. That doesn't mean you win a lot of games. I mean, no one can expect the Giants to win a lot of games if you have any common sense. But the division's not good. I don't think this division will be very good. And I think the Giants are going to have a chance to make some noise late in the season in the division and be in it. But they're going to have to beat the Cowboys in a couple of weeks, which is a tall order. So we'll see.
Transition to flag on the play, accept or decline. Apple is working on technology to help diagnose depression and cognitive decline. Accept or decline.
I mean, that's dope, but it's scary at the same time because technology is so advanced that you feel like this artificial intelligence is insane. Like, so they'll be able to know if someone's clinically losing their mind in a database. Like, they'll know that they'll have access to that information to medical records. That feels like a HIPAA violation to me. I mean, in a world where people won't even get vaccinated, you're gonna let a tool tell you if you're suffering from some kind of brain disorder. It's just wild to me. But I guess I have to go there with the vaccine. You I don't know. How many anti-vax you think listen to the podcast?
I know of 2 definitely that do.
Yo, they about to get Wiggins.
At first, when I read it, I was like, yo, that's dope. But then I really thought about the privacy aspect of it, though. You're going to basically give access to Apple through your watch, through your phone, them tracking how you text. The technology you're thinking about doing is like basically tracking like how you text, how fast you're texting, how many errors you have in your text messages, how long your phone calls are and stuff like that, which they already know, obviously. But to then use that information, you don't think down the line, like if it actually comes into fruition, you don't think Jobs will want to have that information?
It's just too far. It's too far.
Sports, you don't think we want to have that information before I give you a big contract? Has he been going through depression lately? Is he on a mental decline right now? You don't
System
think,
for it,
you feel me? Like, they're working on the technology. They're actually going through it. It was with UCLA. They're going through tests and trials with, like, I think up to 3,000 patients. They're, checking this stuff out. I just can't see this actually ending up on an Apple, on an iPhone or an iWatch.
It might hit the market. Crazy things have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy things happen. Like, now we could FaceTime stupid Android people.
See, that's one of the better things they've done. I feel like that's fine, but start talking about medical records and getting into what people's medical situations are. That's a slippery slope. I don't like that at all.
I don't like the FaceTime.
That's a slippery slope.
I don't like the FaceTime. Y'all go on WhatsApp. Go use WhatsApp.
They're gonna use Uvu.
Yeah, like, this is one of the things that just puts iPhone above Android users, and now you're allowing them to do so. Nah, let them go download something to go FaceTime somebody with this trash. Next flag on the play. A whole referee crew got locked in a locker room with the vending machine blocking the door after the game over a controversial call. Accept or decline.
Yo, sometimes they deserve that type of junk, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Sometimes some of these calls they make are so bad, I don't even know. There's gotta be some kind of justice served. They ain't kill him.
Nah, that's just wild though.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
High school game, you gonna lock them into the locker room and use a vending machine?
It would happen in high school. I knew it.
That's wild, bro. Over a call, I get it. We've all played sports, but nah, I don't think I can go through that.
I would never do it. I'm just saying, like, I can see the frustration. There's some calls have been made this NFL season. Some of these taunting calls should get guys locked in rooms.
They need to get rid of that, bro. They need to just get rid of that.
You're so stupid.
I just got Madden, right? I'm playing Madden. You could celebrate in Madden, but you can't celebrate in real life? How? What sense does that make?
You got 22?
Yeah.
How is it?
Y'all got concerns when we do the tournament. Y'all all getting smoked.
Well, that's not what I asked. That's not true. But I tell you who's gonna get smoked. The person who get off the sticks first is Chris. I just know he about to get smoked.
Hands down, it don't matter what game we play. We could put Monopoly on PlayStation and he'll
Chris
get
getting smoked. Getting smoked first. I love Madden, bro. Yo, I'm about to get 22. I gotta make that purchase. I might even do it tomorrow, to be honest. I just need it.
Get with it. Next one, flag on the play. Jasmine Clifford. It's funny you mentioned that too. Jasmine Clifford provided fake vaccination cards to NFL players. Accept or decline.
So dumb. That's so dumb. As if
That's a major
going to do their due diligence and check to see, is this fake? Is this real? Because I mean, why fake it? Why fake it and then put other people at risk? So
I think the thing that's too, this just shows to me how the NFL really, this is for, saving face. Because she got caught for this a little while ago, maybe a month or two ago. And, more information is coming out. And you're telling me the NFL, this conglomerate, they're not able to decipher a fake and a real vaccination card? I think they really don't care. We just have to put this up. And we've seen the NFL do stuff like this all the time. They don't care, really. They just want the product on the field. They don't care if you're vaccinated, really. The fact that they're getting fake vaccination cards off on these teams, these owners do not really care if you're vaccinated.
No.
You able to play? We're gonna give you a shot. We're gonna give you some cortisone. Drink a pint of Henny before the game. We don't, long as you on the field. That's what I think it says. Like, whatever, she got caught. Cool. You made this money. Oh well, you got caught. You should have did a better job. Bigger story, NFL. How is it even working? How are they vaccination cards? Y'all don't care.
It's not advanced enough. It's not advanced enough. A vaccine card is too simple. It's easy enough to be faked. It's easy enough to be faked. That's the reality of it. I think it's just it's not. I don't think when they started doing the vaccine cards and started getting out the vaccines to the public, they thought nearly hard enough about how many people were going to try to fake it, because people have vaccine fears as it was before this, and it's just 10 times worse. It's just heightened. So I've been saying for a long time, I thought this thing was going to go way past. I think it is still. I think that they're going to get to a point where you have a mark on your license that shows whether or not you were vaccinated, like one of those, like, I don't know if you guys ever seen like the hologram like marker on there where you can kind of, you see the stamp on there. You're going to see something like that start to come out because they're getting real serious about this. I mean, in New York, they just roll out a new rule where teachers have to be vaccinated or they're going to be put on leave. It's one or the other. And every teacher, almost like thousands of teachers were filing for the religious exemption, right? And they never filed for religious exemption ever before in their lives, ever. So of course they're all getting turned down by the boatload. Just like Andrew Wiggins was turned down for the same thing. He filed for religious exemption. Like it's crazy. It's crazy the length people are going to not get vaccinated, and it's crazy the lengths they're going to in terms of like what they're willing to give up by not getting vaccinated. Like, what are you willing to give up? Some people are willing to give up their livelihoods for this to not get vaccinated. It's wild, man. It's a crazy time. It really is.
Well, do you think Kyrie's going to get vaccinated?
I that's yo, that I think he might be the only player on the Nets that's not vaccinated from what I was hearing, but I don't, there's no way to tell you what the hell he's gonna do. I have no idea. I hope he does. I think he will. I think he will. At the end of the day, I really believe he will, but it's legit. It's fair to ask the question. I have no idea. I'll tell you one thing. He's going nowhere. He's going to be a net. Okay? He's going to be a net. Get vaccinated, he's going to be a net. I don't think they're trading him for Ben Simmons. Stephen A. God, people gotta stop listening to that guy for real. For real, yo.
There's some key big week 3 matchups. Bengals at Pittsburgh. Joe Burrow, he's not on the show to defend it, but Joe Burrow has been sacked 9 times through 2 games. Bengals haven't won at Heinz Field since, wait for it, 2015. What's y'all picks for this game? I got Steelers winning 21-17. Steelers don't look that hot themselves, but they'll win this game 21-17.
I think so too. Penny Sewell hasn't given up a sack since like his junior year of college, by the way. And he looked good since he's gotten to the NFL. It's worth mentioning. So there's that. And Rashawn Slater's looked amazing. So there's that too. They had options. They could have fixed their offensive line. They chose not to. So here we are. They chose to go flash over substance. Stupid. But yeah, I think the Steelers will win. Steelers are a veteran team. They're going to win games like this. They're going to have a hard time with the really good teams because Ben is washed. And that's the problem with that team. Ben's washed and they don't run the ball well. The offensive line is not good. Not good in run blocking anyway. So they're struggling there. But I think they're going to win this game. I think they're hearing the noise. And Mike Tomlin, after a loss, is usually pretty good for a dub. He's a Hall of Fame coach. So I'll go. I think 21-17 is a fair number. I ain't got to give you a score because I ain't really a betting man. I'll let Miles do that. But I think the Steelers will win.
I don't know. Like TJ Watt might not play. That's a big factor in there. I'm actually gonna go with the underdog. I'm gonna take the Bengals.
They let you down last week, by the way, or the week before. You chose them. They let you down. No, it was last week.
Hey, yo.
Okay, they did, but I believe there's a bounce back coming, and as many upsets as we've seen, this wouldn't be a far-fetched game for them to beat them. I mean,
in division, yeah.
It's in division. Joe Burrow's the better quarterback. They got the better running back. I think they got the better receiving core. I mean, Deontay Johnson's not going to play. So there's a lot of factors in there that don't really point in the Steelers' favor. Yeah. And then, I mean, like you said, Ben Roethlisberger is washed, and he's he's really overpaid Chad Pennington right now. So I don't know. I think that I'm taking Bengals 24-20.
We'll see, man.
Um,
Hey, before the year is over, we're gonna have a hard conversation with Chris about Daniel Jones versus Joe Burrow. I think Daniel Jones is on that ass. Just so you know.
Well, he's also not coming off a torn ACL, MCL.
That's fair.
He didn't
That's
have
fair.
to.
I'm just taking everything I can get. I'm just taking everything I can get because I made that Josh Allen prediction. Just stay tuned. I do think he's gonna play well in spite of all the BS of the Giants, but we'll get there. It's okay.
I mean, he's playing better than Josh Allen, so that's the comparison.
Who?
Daniel Jones. He's playing better than Josh Allen right now.
That's a fact. Hey, I am very locked into all this. Just we're gonna wait till the end of the season. We're gonna have a conversation again, and they better not lose to Washington. That stupid team, the Bills, better not lose to Washington. There's a game they would lose.
Next one, Tampa Bay at Rams. Some may say this will be a playoff matchup down the road. People are choosing Rams to represent the NFC. Tampa Bay, the Super Bowl champs. They're both averaging over 30 points per game, so this should be a high-scoring game. This is a game that typically Stafford does not show up in.
Mm-hmm.
See this game panning out. I got Bucks winning 35-24.
I think Stafford's 8-67 in games against teams with winning records. 8-67. I think that was a stat I heard read to me today. I ain't gonna hold you. Stafford's gotten a lot of passes. He's easily the least scrutinized number one overall pick I ever seen in my life in sports. I would agree with that, and that's fair. That's fair. But he is super talented on a really good team. And you know what, man? I'm gonna pick with my heart and not with logic. Logic says just pick Tom Brady because Tom Brady and that team is rolling and they're playing great.
Against Tom Brady. That's not a shot. Of course you're going against Tom.
I'm gonna go against Tom here. But yo, I think if the Rams can hang tight, get a lead late, which is very possible with a well-coached team like them, and they have the best corner, they have the best defensive lineman in the league. Why not? I don't think it's a crazy pick. And they run the ball. They'll be able to run the clock out. You don't want to run against the defensive line they have over in Tampa Bay. You want to throw against them. That's the way you're going to beat them because the corners are just not very good. Yo, the Bucs are a team that take a lot of chances defensively. They're not that great. They make splash plays, but they're not great for a sustained 48 minutes of the game. For however long a football game is. They're not sustained for that. I don't see how them sustaining great defensive play over a period of time. They make splash plays. Shaq Barrett gets a strip sack. They get a strip fumble. They get a pick. It's usually something like that. Defense has not been anything to write home about this year. So I like the Rams in this game. But if they lost, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'll take the Rams because I ain't got nothing on it. So go ahead. Rams win 37-27.
Wow.
I mean, you can't go against Tom Brady. I'm gonna take the Buccaneers. I don't think it's gonna be that. You guys like 10 points, 11 points spread. I think it's gonna be a close game. You know, Tom, he likes to keep it close, so I'm gonna say like 28-24.
I think Tom's gonna get beat up a little bit in this game. I think Donald's getting to him today. It's gonna happen.
I think they're going to get busy. It's going to be high scoring. I don't see either team really being that day. Oh, we're going to play lock up D. It's going to be a 17-14 game. Nah, they still going to get off still. Well, One of the teams, I think Stafford's going to struggle. And it will just be back to what I said in the summertime. When everybody was, oh my God, Stafford is on the Rams now. Oh my gosh.
Nice. You can see the difference already with that team. Like how much better they are with Stafford than they were with Goff. Stafford's a world better than Goff was. I do think they have a shot, man. They're gonna go. They have a chance to go. They should end up in the Super Bowl. There's no reason why they shouldn't be there. There's no reason.
No, the reason is Stafford's going to mess up. He's going to choke in the big time game.
We'll see. We'll see.
Next big game for this week 3 matchup, Monday night, NFC East, terrible division, but They always play each other tough. They're on Monday night for a reason. It's probably going to be a thriller, crazy type of game. Eagles have been 0-3 the last 3 trips to Jerry World. Philly at Dallas. Dak against Hurts. How do y'all see this one going?
I'm taking the Eagles, man. I'm taking the Eagles. I'm taking Hurts. I just rock with Hurts. Like, I really like Hurts a lot. And I hate the Eagles, but I really want Hurts to do well. It's selfish. I understand that. But I think they have to stop the quarterback run. The Dallas defense ain't been that great. I'm not convinced by Dallas. I'm not a believer. They shouldn't have won last weekend. There was Herbert was not sacked on that play where Michael Parsons brought him down. It looks like they finally found a place to put Michael Parsons in that defense. Finally, he was not looking good in coverage as a linebacker, but he looks way better as a DN. Looked really effective. But still, I mean, the defense has improved, sure, but I just don't think they give up a lot of yards. The Chargers should have beaten them. They should be 0-2 today. They're not. It's fine. I think the Eagles will beat them. I think the Eagles are gonna. They have Trez Watkins is fast. He's a burner. They got Devontae Smith. Like I like them a lot. I think that they'll be able to win this game, as much as it pains me to say. If I could have it my way, they tie. I hope they tie. I hope somehow they tie. That'd be the best thing in the world if they could tie. If they tie, then God loves the Giants.
Well, I don't know. I feel like, everything's leaning in the Eagles' favor. Like, I don't know if Amari Cooper's going to play this week. He's got, bruised ribs, which would leave just CeeDee Lamb out there and Cedric Wilson, who, I mean, he's good. Yeah, exactly. But if it's just CeeDee Lamb out there and then a washed up Zeke Elliott, then who knows? But if they finally let Tony rock, we might see some fireworks. But
Dak might throw him out the damn game. They'll let Dak throw 60 times. They don't care. You know that. They'll let Dak come to the rescue and be Superman, or throw him out of a game. Because people not talking about Dak can do that too. Dak can throw you out of a game just as much as you can throw you into one. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it against the Giants before. Just saying.
Eagles win 28-25. I think it'll just be close just because it's in the division, but the Cowboys we talking about, man. It's the Dallas Cowboys. They decided not to do anything to shore up this offensive line. The defense is still suspect. It still got holes all in it. I don't know why they won't accept the fact that Zeke is not what Zeke was.
Mm-hmm.
You could have used him to get something back in return that could help out the team where you actually had needs. Y'all using Tony Pollard more anyway, and pass catching and running.
Just a weird situation.
What is Zeke here for? Just to pass block?
Seems like it.
Because that's what was mentioned so great when he came out from college. Yo, from any other running backs, he can really pass block.
He's an expensive pass blocker.
I mean, shout out to him. He's eating. He got paid. But I don't know how this works out for Dallas in that regard. I see them losing. I see this being a season where they'll be back in the top 10 for draft picks, but you already know the vibes, though. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Bench mob, we out. Peace.